Welcome, everybody, to Reality Realness with three S's. I am Nick Rovers. I'm here with my co host, Lindsay, and with the latest evictee, Charlene. We're
Hi.
covering season 5 of Big Brother Cheesecake All Stars. Again, if you are new to the channel or you haven't subscribed yet, like us, follow us, ring the bell for notifications. We're going to be covering the whole season long, so it's going to be fun. Welcome, Charlene. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It's
Good,
good
good.
it's good to be here.
Yeah, good. It's probably good to be chatting with new people too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a rough week.
I believe you.
So do you
Yeah.
want to
Lindsay?
tell us a little bit about your week from your perspective?
Oh, it's just been interesting. It's been quiet, um, the conversations that have been going on have been really difficult for me to get involved with because I don't watch any of those shows that they were talking about. So I was just sitting back reading and, trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure anything out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was confusing for me.
yeah. Well, let's talk about the week. The head of household competition. How did that go for you?
Um, it was what was that one? Anyway, I can't remember now. All I remember is the comp that we did last night. I don't remember anything in the past.
The one that I screwed up. All right.
Well, Chanel won it.
Oh
I'm
yes,
trying
yes,
to.
yes. I didn't expect her to put me on the block, really, but uh,
Do you know
what can
why
I
she
say?
put you on the block?
Pardon?
Do you know why she put you on the block, like now?
Um, I think it had something to do with me saying I don't wouldn't take the vaccine, the COVID vax,
Fair. I remember in,
and
in her speech, she said something about she wanted to play with the best, and she just didn't feel like you and Chad were. So that was her reason as well, which I mean could be her personal
yeah.
opinion too.
Well, that's her opinion. I mean, we're all stars. It's not like one is any worse than the other. We're just all playing the same game. You
Yeah.
know, I played two other games, 2 seasons. So coming into this, I really didn't expect all this. Yeah, it's I can say hatred towards me.
Hmm.
So, but I guess it's because I usually speak my mind and I
I,
don't care.
I don't think most people could make it onto All Stars by not speaking their mind. So I think you're in a house with a lot of very honest and open mind speakers, to say
Um,
the least.
oh well, the All Stars definitely have their opinions. Let's say that.
Yeah. I said it,
Yeah,
I say each time, but there's no more hiding behind like, oh, I don't really know what's going on in the game, or I don't know how to play. I'm just making like no, you all knew exactly what was happening this time
yeah,
around, and no one
yeah.
can fake it to each other. So
That's true. That's so true. But it's interesting. I enjoyed playing it, but I got evicted, and now I'm in Redemple Temple, but and I still don't get that. But I'm here. Here I am.
well, it,
Well, I
it
mean, you
sounds
won
like
that. You
I
won the
did.
first competition, so congratulations on that.
Well, thank you. I certainly didn't expect to win. I really thought Jeff was going to be the one to get it.
yeah,
Uh,
I was watching the episode today, and it's like the Jeopardy. It's tricky. Is if you get a question wrong, you're that much farther behind. You need that many more questions to get right. So, like, did you try to buzz in with an answer on that, or did
I
you like?
honestly, to tell you the truth, I really didn't know what the answers were. Um, I had
so
no
now
idea,
you know the answers.
I
and I just
played in
sat
season
there.
4, and I only knew the first two. I think, I forget. Like it was, they
More
were
than
tough.
me.
I don't
So
think I got any of them right. I tried to play along.
yeah, yeah. No, I couldn't answer any of them. I had no idea.
Mhm.
So I
Well,
just sat
something that
there.
was on my mind earlier in the week that I wanted to ask about was I know you had sit out of the veto competition for personal reasons, but what was the reasoning, if you care to dive into it, by picking Curtis as a replacement? And I feel like didn't you have house guest choice in the veto draw as well?
Yes,
Who
yes.
and who did you pick as house guest choice again?
Um. Oh my gosh, trying to remember who I picked.
It's a blurry week, I guess, for
Oh,
everyone.
it's been a rough day. Sorry for the confusion. I'm
That's
just
okay.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Um. You know what? I can't remember.
I'm trying to think who it was that played. So I mean, Ryan obviously played,
I
and
never believe Rhonda was in it as
Rhonda
well.
and Joanne. Was it?
Um,
Oh no,
yeah,
no, it was Joanne. I don't know. I don't think it was Rhonda. Um, Either way, you had to sit out of it, and you chose to have Curtis play instead of you. What was your reasoning behind that?
Well, I had a hospital visit, and
Oh,
I had a procedure was done, and I couldn't make it because
But
it was
why
it was
specifically? Like, did Andrew say you must pick someone? If he did, why specifically Curtis instead of person X? You know.
no, he gave me the option. He told me that because the time I had to be there was the exact same time that the comp was or the competition was going on. And I
yeah.
said I would pick Curtis. So he gave me that option.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that point, when you knew you couldn't play in the veto, did you feel like there was any hope for you to stick around this week, or you just assumed no one's going to use the veto on you and it's done?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was done. I knew that. I knew I was done.
That's fair.
Do you think if Curtis had won, would he have used it on you, do you think?
Um, to be honest, I don't think he would. And
Okay.
I think it was because for his game.
Right.
If he saved me, then that would put him with me as as like a competitor, and the rest of the all stars they would not be happy with that. So
Fair.
I believe he wouldn't use it.
Okay. There's been
Okay.
a lot of house guest choice going on this with the veto picks this season so far. Like it's giving them a chance to win these really powerful game lasting powers as well. So I think I would want to get picked at every veto comp if I wasn't already playing. So I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's tough this season. These questions that like the comp last night, for example, those were tough questions because it's other seasons, and you'd have to sit and watch the entire show to
Yeah.
see what's going on and to know the answers. But
And have notes on the all of the previous seasons. Yeah.
yeah,
I think since now that everyone knows the potential the categories that all the Redemple Temple competitions are going to be, I think that people are going to be studying up hard on those previous seasons. But also, you have to now think, okay, who knows a lot about the seasons? Who follows really well? Who knows a lot about Andrew as well? Because those are the upcoming categories that will decide whether they come back in the game or not. So it
yeah,
adds a whole extra layer to it now that the house guests all know what the competition categories are, I find.
yeah. I totally agree with you. You really have to study all the shows. You have
And
to study them. You
I think
can't win.
I think that it was the most difficult competition for Redemple Temple was you and Jeffrey this week because nobody knew what it was.
Yeah,
Now that everyone knows, now like Nick said, there's that extra layer of preparing for who it is you're going to evict, but also everyone has this opportunity now to study if they want to.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Also,
So
that's
they're
one of
gonna
the most draining things about this game, though, is all the notes and all the studying. So now it's like, oh, pay attention to your season, and now pay attention to all the other ones too.
I know,
All
and to,
stars.
yeah, to be honest with you, I don't have time to sit down and watch all that stuff,
Yeah, I
So
believe you.
mine is going to be guesswork mostly. So now that I'm sitting in Redempble Temple, I have to do another competition again to beat the next person that's evicted. It's
Hmm.
like, what am I going to do, right?
And my guess would be that that person also gets to pick the category in which you face off. So it's not like you have control over that anymore. But I mean,
Yeah,
who knows? It might be coin flip. Yeah.
But also you get to sit and like watch what's going on within the game still, don't you? So that's
yes,
kind of
I do.
interesting added layer too, that even once you're evicted, you're still able to see what's going on within the house.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I think that's weird. Because if I
I
had evicted somebody, I don't think I want them seeing what's going on in the house, right? And it just gives them, I guess, what do you call it? Lost for words. A lead. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's interesting to see also what you're going to do. Like, are you going to keep interacting with everyone in the house? Are you just going to keep to yourself and see what they do and trying to stay out of the limelight? Like, what's until you're
I,
actually evicted? What are you going to do?
I am trying to be involved in the conversations. Today I started more so because they were talking about other things and not movies, TV shows, right? All those TV programs. I have no idea, so I
Yeah.
couldn't talk on that. It's not even like I could crack a joke or anything because there was nothing I understood. I didn't know the shows. They're talking
I,
about people and actors, and it's like, I don't know.
Oh, Charlene, you and I would have been in the same boat.
Yeah. So, but today, I've been trying to get involved and get a little more active, but it's tough, especially knowing how those people feel about me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can use the time to plan ahead about what you might do if you were to get back in the game. And like at this point, you don't need to really be strategizing too much with what's happening currently because none of it matters unless you keep winning Redempble Temples. So you can kind of take a back seat and let everyone else pull some heat potentially too, because that might help your game should you get back in. But
And I think I have to get it's season week 6, I believe.
Yeah.
there are 3 more categories. Or wait,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 more categories to play in Redempble Temple. So yeah, that sounds right. You'd still have to win 4 more Redempble Temples to get back in. But hey, I mean,
Oh,
While you're in Redempble Temple, are you allowed to have private conversations with people as well, or only
yes.
allowed to participate in the main chat? Yeah, you are?
No. Yeah, I can have private, and I'm also in the main chat.
Right,
so
so you can
game is
continue to
normal.
build your game.
It's almost like I'm still in the house. It's just weird, It's weird. Here I am. I'm not really in the house anymore, but I'm there.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Andrew's
Uh,
never done it before, and I'm sure it's exciting for him too because he loves his twists.
I know. He's a bit strange when it comes to his twists.
I like him this season. This season is really interesting. As someone not playing, like I watched some of season 3, and I was into it. It was fine. Season 4, obviously, I paid a lot of attention to, and season 5, being on the outside, knowing the people really helps. Playing, like knowing who they are, as well as knowing the structure. But just these twists are really good. I'm excited to see them all play out.
Mm.
And do you?
I only know Chad and Rhonda, and the rest of them I don't know anyone. So, oh, actually, sorry, I know Joanne. I met Joanne.
She may be watching right now,
Don't tell her. Don't tell her I said that.
I did this with Jeffrey as well, and I think Lindsay and I are curious to know, based off our draft picks, who do you think has the best shot of winning the draft pick? So Lindsay's team currently is Aton, Curtis, Rhonda, Nicole, Dylan, Joanne, and Chad.
Right.
And my team is Jonathan, Brazil, Chantel, Chanel, Jojo, Kat, Ryan, and yourself.
Who do I think would get it?
Who do you think of those teams would probably take the crown? So the point of our draft is we hope we've picked the winner of this whole season. So who do you think? You can just say Nick or Lindsay. You don't have to say anything more if you don't want to. But
it's definitely me.
You know what? I honestly, it's really hard to tell right now. But Brazil keeps coming in my mind.
As someone who you think is doing well,
she's in there, but she's kind of flying under the radar. But she pops up every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and well, Rai. I don't know about him. But he's got a lot of influence with other people. So, and the fact that
you're rooting for Nick here, Charlene.
I'm sorry.
It sounds like you're rooting for Nick's team here.
Yeah, they're both on my team.
I'm not really rooting for the team. To be honest with you, I'm not. Oh, I'd rather win. I want to root for me. Never mind everyone else, right? But I'd have to get back in the house. But it's tough. Brazil keeps coming in my head.
So there's some people you think are doing well in the game and have a good shot at winning this, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think Brazil and Ryan, he is I'm not sure how he is getting along with all the other people, but he does have support. And where he to get me evicted, that's for sure, right? But it's interesting, like how everybody who knows each other is in one group, and then the other ones that don't know the other guys are in another group. if you know what I mean. It's just confusing. This whole season is confusing. Um, it's just that I don't know personally these people, so it's hard to really get into a conversation with them.
Mm.
And I'm not much, as you can tell, I'm not much of a conversationalist when it comes to talking to people, especially typing things and trying to get your point across and your feelings and get them to understand. But it's difficult. It's difficult.
A lot gets lost in text, and I
Oh
don't
yeah.
love texting or messaging on the phone all the time. And Big Brother was like Big Brother Cheesecake was a lot of pretty much just that. So you really do have to buckle up for that kind of change
Yeah.
in your lifestyle for sure. But
Yeah.
as
Well,
someone who's played it, go ahead.
I'm trying. Yeah, and I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get involved more.
Mhm.
I mean, in the seasons that I was in before, the other two seasons, I did fine. I had no problem texting and having conversations and, trying to get alliances and things like that. But it's, you know, this season, it's tough just because I don't understand what's going on because it's all this TV talk, right? I don't know why it keeps coming up, but
Mhm.
it's.
I have one question.
We have found things in common.
Mhm.
Sorry,
My
Nick?
question is, Chad and his new leaf that's been turned. What do you feel about that?
Oh God, give me strength.
You knew this
Listen,
was gonna come up eventually.
listen, Chad and I have a difficult relationship, let's say. He loves to insult and cut people down, and he went after me like crazy. This season, he's being this Mr. Nice Guy, and it's like, it's not true. This is not Chad. Chad's putting on a face. That's all he is.
Do
So
you
do you
think it's
know why
working?
it was that he went after you in previous seasons?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was the vendetta that was
I I
particularly?
really don't know. I can't even remember how it started. He just started um, a lot of insults and the Chad thing, right? We all know what Chad does, right? So, but this season he's being nice, and it's like hard to tell if he's changed, but I don't think so.
Mhm.
I don't think he's changed.
Okay.
And he is flying under the radar.
I mean, he had a veto used on him this week. That's
Yeah.
big.
Oh
So
yeah.
he's made some friends.
Yeah, yeah. He had a chat with Ryan. He said to Ryan, "Use. I hope you use the veto on me." And he said he would, and he did.
Yeah.
So lucky Chad.
Yeah.
You know.
Lindsay, do you have any questions you want to ask?
I don't think so. I think we've covered a decent amount of ground. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you very much, Eileen, for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me. I know I didn't have a lot to say about this because some of the things I couldn't remember, but I enjoyed it.
No, we
You
really
had a good
appreciate
season
the
so
talk.
far, and I mean, it's not over yet, but it's a good season so far.
So far, yeah. Now I
Good.
can just sit down and spy on them.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'm sure Andrew really appreciates you playing 3 times. Yeah, that's a lot of time and effort put into the game. So, I mean, I commend you on that as well. So,
Thank you.
and
Yeah.
thank you for being here with us, and good luck in the upcoming Redempel Temples. And we'll chat again maybe soon with you if you get back in the house and you get evicted again, or you win the whole thing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for having me.
Take
Thanks
care,
so much,
Charlene. Good
All
Eileen.
luck.
right. Have
Bye.
a good night. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
All
Well,
right.
that was a week. I mean, I think Charlene said it herself is that like she at no point thought she was staying or anything was being different. So I don't think we had a ton to say about this week specifically because the writings were on the wall the whole time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like Andrew said, I mean, he's kind of already covered this that it didn't have to be that kind of week, but unfortunately it did get personal. Obviously, 2020 has been an interesting year and people have strong feelings about things. So
Lots of
I don't
things.
I don't think that anything was going to change this week from how it went down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I think she's taking it in stride, winning the competition. I mean, not having to answer questions and winning a competition, that sounds like one I could win. So that's a good way. That's a good strategy. As soon as he was in negative 600,
Okay,
you let him. You just hope no one answers, right? So
I have a question about our season 4
yeah,
and the beer pong question.
I knew that one. I knew that one and
No,
the
I thought it
department.
was couscous. Or did we have
Oh,
quinoa and couscous?
maybe it was. I have the notes right here.
Oh, you're gonna find out.
Oh, I don't want to. I
Because
think it was, or did I write it down somewhere else? But it was.
he said
Maybe I don't have these
quinoa in
notes.
the question this like yesterday or today,
It
whenever that
it's a
comes.
different book. One second.
Nick.
It's in this book. This I filled this whole thing up. Well, this is some of my own Big Brother stuff, but then like it starts.
Super nerd over here.
It starts here. Well, one page back, and I did all this for season 4.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I know. I
It's
would
even
say,
worse than my spreadsheets.
but yeah, it might have actually been
I thought it was
couscous.
couscous.
Also, when Lynn spelled deflegmating, I just saw that right now. Or deflemmating. I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't remember what week that was. Oh my God. Either
Yeah.
way, I think you might be right with couscous, but right when he said the question, I was like, nope, it's quinoa. I know it. It's quinoa.
So
So,
maybe we had both.
oh
The
wait,
only
here he
other
goes.
one I remember were marshmallows. So
There was 148 marshmallows. Then
yeah.
it was mini wheats, peas, peanut butter M&Ms, and couscous.
Ha!
It is couscous.
So
Oh,
you and Ryan were
Andrew.
both wrong.
Oh no.
Or
How
Ryan,
how
sorry,
good
not
do you feel right
Andrew.
now after he called you out for mixing up the randomized numbers, and now you call him out on his answer being wrong?
So I clarified that in the chat because I was in the group chat. I want to make a public apology for that. The person who won was the correct person. It was supposed to be Chantel because
Okay.
she was the only one that guessed 14. However, what happened was I had a really crappy personal week this week. And when I was going to bed, I was waiting on the last person to send in their response. And I sent the message and gave like a 5-minute warning. And then I took a sleeping pill because I was like, I need to go to bed. Now, I'd written everything out on a piece of paper. And so I thought, oh, this will be really easy. I'll just type in the numbers and the names and the times, and bam, it'll go off. But then what happened in my jumbled mind at this point was Dylan was the last person to send in the message. And so I think twice I wrote down the number of like the time that the person sent in. So like for Dylan, I put 14 because he was the 14th person.
Oh God, not his guess.
Rather than the number that he guessed. And I think I did that twice. So all the numbers were correct in the just the random list of numbers, I think. And then there were a couple numbers that were off when I put the name, the number, and the time because I put the actual like number of like the order instead of the number that the person said.
It sounds like a double check would have maybe prevented all that, but you were drugged. Who
Yes.
knew, right?
So I apologize to everyone, but Andrew had 14 marshmallows on his head. It's debatable whether or not people accept that as how he should have gotten them on his head. I
Yeah.
personally think he should have just licked them and made them sticky so that they would stick to each other.
You would have just eaten them all that way, but yeah, when I thought
Yeah.
like it would be like one balance, two balance, or like one squish balance, but then like you remove your hand off of it. But like when he was doing this, I was like, he could go forever here. So I actually had no idea. But
Well, so
one thing I will say,
he
sorry,
was
go ahead.
doing that though, and then he had to take his hand away. Like both hands had to be away
I
for it to
thought he
happen.
was doing this and like putting one up and then holding and reaching for another. I could rewatch it again, but
Yeah.
I thought it was honestly just going to be like stacking like a pyramid, and I was like, those guesses of like 5, 6, 7, those are going to be accurate because you're going to be talking while you're doing it, and you're going to lose your balance, right? So the squishing was good. He had a point. People apparently didn't ask if they could be squished or not, or licked
Yeah.
and stuck, whatever the ways would be. The one thing I think though is the numbers. He shouldn't have known the range of guesses. I think it should have just been like a disclaimer, like I'm going to try my hardest at this. I'm going to go hard, and I'm going to try and get as many as I can. And
Yeah.
then the guesses come in, and then he opens up the message and be like, okay, someone did say 14. Because maybe in his mind, he's like, I know the range of guesses, so I don't want to make them all too much or too little, or, you know?
Yeah, that's a fair point. So I understood the reason why he did it the way that he did this time, and that's because he was criticized in a similar competition where he had to balance something for like however long he could balance it for. I can't even remember what it was, but then however many seconds were guessed. And I think that was in season 3, but I could be wrong about that. But anyway, I think he knew what all of the guesses were and who made them. And so
Right.
then the criticism was that he could be trying to throw the comp for a specific person. And so
Right.
this time he wanted to make sure that he didn't know the people. But you're right, maybe it would be best just to not know, period.
Just do the task. Lindsay has the data. Lindsay will tell you who won, kind of thing, right? Like I think that would be the most true
Yeah.
way of doing it. But I mean, I still agree. Like there's no unfairness here, but I also think maybe subconsciously you could have been like, well, there were some. The highest guess was 19, so I don't know. I don't know how that would have influenced, but there's just some thoughts I had on watching it.
It was a very interesting competition to watch. um, good job, Andrew, on what you managed to accomplish there.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as 2020 accomplishments go,
I think it was a very good and fun competition to throw into All Stars and just see what the hell they make of it. So
yeah. But what I actually had the most fun with was I was invited into the house because of that. And so I got to see what the chat was like in the house. And I was really intrigued how it compared to season 4.
what do
People
you
are
mean?
being people are being a lot more careful this season, which I guess makes perfect sense. So like I felt like in season 4, I mean, a lot of times I would go to sleep and then wake up and just be so overwhelmed because there's like 99 plus messages on my phone
Yeah.
because we just had like a constant stream of chat going, right? And like everyone always said good morning, everyone always said good night. We talked about like what we ate or like random things we saw that day. Like people just threw random shit into the chat just to like keep something going and be like,
Right.
hey, I'm here. I
And
feel
you're
like
saying that wasn't the case?
no, like Joanne is chatty. Chad and Ryan are very responsive. People were very adoring of me, which I
Oh,
like.
of course. Why wouldn't they be?
I got lots of lovely messages. Thanks, guys. But aside from that, like there wasn't a whole lot of back and forth. Like I can understand why Andrew's videos are shorter this season because like
Mhm.
there's not a lot of information in the main chat to go off of. So
People are being sneaky, perhaps. I don't
yeah.
know. So the week ends with Chantal winning, obviously, the marshmallow stacking HOH competition.
Yep,
Um, nominees come out tomorrow, I believe.
I think that's
And
right.
I'm excited to see what veto gets rolled for this week. Because I don't know, these new vetoes are really fun. I would want one of those. It was too
Yeah.
risky in in the way of season 4. It was too risky and season 3 to dive down and risk yourself for a power or get the poop round veto. Now it's just like you play in a veto, you have a chance of winning an awesome power. Like it's more exciting to be playing in the veto than it ever was before.
Okay, wait, sorry, you do raise an interesting point though. So if he spins and it lands on the poo brown, that means
Mm-hmm.
whoever wins the veto.
It's a fast forward. He said that the Pooh Brown veto specifically for the veto is a 1 week fast forward in this way, and I think it's on the wheel for different reasons for something else because he's using the wheel for two purposes, and I think for this it was I forget what
Okay.
it was, but I remember him saying the Pooh Brown veto is a fast forward.
So
I don't
you
know
don't
if it's gonna
there is no poo brown this season then.
not that I remember or know of, but I mean, I'm sure Andrew will talk about this episode and maybe enlighten us. But yeah, I
Andrew
think it
can
was like
correct
there's the six vetoes, and they're all good. And the new one was the amethyst, but he said the Pooh Brown veto would be instead um, a 1 week fast forward. So I think the winner of the veto would get to have a veto immunity basically for 1 week should they win it up until maybe the top six as well. I don't know. It seems like all these powers go till the top six. So
Ooh, that's actually really interesting. So, like, if you win the veto, you
you're
can
safe
pick
that week.
any, well, yeah, you're of course safe that week, but then you can pick any other week to be safe.
I think that's what it was. He said it was a 1 week fast forward. So I mean, like, yeah,
I kind of wish I was playing this season.
that's what I'm saying. Like the twists and the fact that like we couldn't nominate our teammates and like everyone's fair game. There's a lot more um, powers floating around. Like I think
Yeah.
it's good. I'm hoping things get juicy and yeah, it's gonna be good.
Well, and also just like the fact, I've had a few people that I've been chatting about who have been like following along and watching the show.
Yeah.
So I do feel like people who aren't playing are paying a lot more attention to this season than they did in my season. Cause like people who promised that they were gonna watch so that they could find out how I was doing, I would talk to last year or last season, I guess that was still this year.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry. Like I'm like 3 weeks behind." Now, like same people are talking to me and being like, "Oh my god, like what do you think Chantel is going to do with her powers?"
Mhm.
I got no more information than you guys do.
I know. I think it's just because it's All Stars. People are more excited to see like um, people play. Like people are actually going to play this time as opposed to there's no just horde of bus drivers or super big alliances or like I think everyone's still trying to find their footing and the competition wins are key from like even right from the start and moving forward. It's only going to get more intense that way. So I'm excited. I'm like Andrew keeps saying like, oh, and a brand new competition, and what I'm really excited for. So I'm like, I hope he keeps doing that because I like seeing what he comes up with. Because there's you got to think how much can you do sitting in a room on a chair online like it. But he comes up with a lot of creative ideas, and yeah, he could just keep recycling the same ones, but he's definitely not for All Stars.
It's true, yeah. So Andrew, we're singing your praises.
Ah, so many crazy. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on this week. I don't know
Yeah,
anything
I'm
else.
excited to see. I'm excited to see who goes to Red Temple, who faces off against Charlene, and who wins that as well. So,
Yeah,
and what power gets won or rolled for? I think it would be tomorrow, right? So,
yeah, I think we're in for a good week.
yeah.
All
You
right,
want
well,
to
thanks
sign us
for
out?
watching, everyone. Sorry?
I said you want to sign us off.
Yeah, you should probably do it.
Basically, just thanks for watching, everyone. Again, if you want to follow us, ring the bell for notifications and like it, like what we post. Chantel does a lot of other stuff on Reality Realness as well, and you can follow all of it there. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
See you
Bye.
soon.